Hey guys, welcome back. Today is chapter 42, and it was published April 22nd, 2023. And before I read this, I just want to say that I'm not an expert on sobriety or recovery. I have no education formally on sobriety and recovery. I'm just a person who has been able to stay sober continuously for a pretty long time now. So what I say is just my experience and things that I've learned through the years. And my intention is just really to help someone if they find this video and they need help. So that's where I'm coming from. Chapter 42. The legacy that was passed on to me through Betsy and others was passed on to her through her sponsor, Georgie, and others. Georgie got it from others too, and on and on. Even the men who founded Alcoholics Anonymous borrowed from other places, religions, philosophies, etc. There is no one specific leader who gets all the praise. It counts on individuals coming together for a greater purpose. Hint, hint, world. I couldn't have done it without all the ones who came before me. I am not chosen, nor am I particularly special. I have just had enough pain. Most of what I say here is not original to me. It's thanks to AA as a whole. To the addicts and alcoholics, or anyone struggling to find their way. There was once a time that I couldn't imagine living without drugs and alcohol. They were my answer to everything. By the end, I couldn't do anything without them. Incomprehensible demoralization to the T. The story I told in chapter 1 was just one of many experiences like that. I would have done anything for a drink or a drug. I was not above any self-centered attempt to escape myself. I once heard a lady at a meeting say, I would have killed my own mother for a drink. That I understood. And right then, I knew I was where I was supposed to be. Stealing, lying, cheating, using my sex appeal, I've done it all. Sleeping on sidewalks, peeing my pants, broken bones, blackouts. Regular occurrences. Jails and institutions, I've been in many. The only thing left for me out there was death, but knowing that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the absolute insanity of living in my head, the incessant obsession, hating myself and everyone else, the constant running. The fact that there wasn't enough drugs or alcohol in the whole wide world to shut off my brain. All the seemingly insurmountable pain I had caused and endured. I didn't come to sobriety because I really wanted to stop or because I wanted to be a good person. I came because I had nowhere else to go and the drugs and alcohol stopped working. I wasn't deserving, but that didn't matter. It mattered that I showed up and kept showing up. I kept showing up for me. I tell you this to invite you to see a possibility. There is another way. Even if you don't see it, or if your mind is lying to you, or if you think it's too late for you, it's not. There is a path that cannot fail. People may fail it, but the path does not. As Rumi said, those who don't want to change, let them sleep. If you are not ready, it's okay. Hopefully you will survive and get another chance. We will still be here when you've had enough. Should you need us. If you are willing to go to any lengths to stay sober, I would like to share with you some of my experiences, along with the things that helped me the most. Keep in mind, the path is a general one. My words here, just an overview. A path designed to bring you to your own attention, because the truth is, that's the real problem. You, me. It's a path that gives you a way out of hell if you so choose. There are many twists and turns and ways to trudge it. I can only tell you what has worked for me. Likely, the details of your journey look different than mine. It's okay. Compare yourself to yourself only. Also, Some may disagree. Some may say their way is the only way. C'est la vie. Don't worry about people. Worry about you. You will find your tribe, as there's a wrench for every nut. The best thing I did in my first year of sobriety was build a solid foundation, just like they told me. I made staying sober the most important thing in my life, and it still is. I am sober continuously for a long time now, but it is not because of me, more despite. It is by God's grace. If I stopped doing any of the things I was taught in the beginning, it wouldn't take long for me to be that lost girl yet again. I've known people who were sober for decades drink or get high again. Nothing good comes from that. Also, no one is ever struck that way like lightning. It is always caused by some deviation from the path. Many of the world's saddest things are due to drugs and alcohol. Most people in jail are there because of something done under the influence. Example, my brother. Countless casualties, innocent and otherwise. I'm no different than them. I am them. A day at a time, I stick to the basics under any and all circumstances. I've done many things wrong, but because of this, I haven't been lost again. In my experience, most people don't get multiple chances. Many die tragically. My cousin, for example, forever breaking the hearts of the people who love them. One man I think of often, Bob. He was sober for many years and built a wonderful life. Got married, got a career, had children, money, all the things. Eventually, his sobriety wasn't a priority anymore. He stopped going to meetings and, in time, drank again. He ended up losing everything. For several years following, I watched him go in and out. He never could quite get it back again. One day he disappeared, and for 8 months, nobody knew his whereabouts, until a couple of kids playing in the woods came across a pile of human bones. It was Bob. Another, a woman I sponsored who called me an AA Nazi because of how serious I was about sobriety. She was super smart, nurturing, hilarious. I loved her. She always had one foot out the door, though. She held on to people tied to her addiction. That would be her downfall. She drank again and very quickly wasted away. Her liver couldn't handle it, and she ended up with cirrhosis. I went to visit her in the hospital at the end. I was sad to see that no one else was there. I remember that her lips were so dry, I wet them with ice. She wasn't supposed to eat solid foods, but all she wanted was some snacks. I got some from the vending machine and fed them to her one by one. She died alone soon after. There are so many stories like these that I could write volumes of encyclopedias about them. It's gut-wrenching for many reasons, but also because I have found that deep down, addicts and alcoholics are among the most wonderful, caring, compassionate, creative people out there. I stay sober one day at a time by doing the same things Betsy told me in the very beginning. Don't pick up a drink or a drug, no matter what happens. Make regular attendance at meetings. Stay away from people, places, and things. Ask God to keep you sober every morning and thank Him every night. Try to help somebody else. By doing these things, anything else I need comes, usually through other people, exactly at the right time. All in all, it's been a process of excavation so that I could get to me. It's continuous. I must always be moving away from a drink and a drug. The day I die will be the day I graduate. There are a million little sayings that also helped and still do. Don't give up before the miracle happens. You could be 5 minutes from success. The miracle could be right around the corner. One day at a time. 1 minute at a time if you must. Live and let live. Easy does it. First things first. But for the grace of God, go I. You never have to feel this way again. You're going to be okay. If you forget the past, you're doomed to repeat it. Some basic guidelines. it seems a lot of these simple suggestions are getting lost. No relationships for the first year. Get a plant. If you can keep it alive for a year, you can try a relationship with a person. If you are married, see the next point. No major decisions for the first year. If you have an urge, eat sweets. It helps. Be leery of foods cooked in alcohol and alcohol-related beverages/products. This is controversial. There's a wave of people promoting non-alcoholic beers and cocktails. For me, why chance lighting the fuse? Be careful of drugs, prescription or otherwise. Another new wave. Sober means being unaffected by mind-altering substances. Stay out of bars and away from people, places, and things, because if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're bound to get your hair cut. Or if you hang around with monkeys, you're bound to eat bananas. Finally, if you lie to an alcoholic or an addict, you could kill them. Yes, it's that serious. No enabling, no people-pleasing when it comes to helping others. It's a responsibility of grave importance. There is so much more, but hopefully this is a sufficient prologue. As I've stayed sober, I've managed to build on this footing. At times I've needed to branch out, therapy, for example. But it was always in addition to, never at the expense of, my foundation. As a result, and despite encountering life on life's terms, I live a good life today. My friend, Scottish Jack, always yells at me for not including good things in my story. He may be right, but to me, the best things really are that I haven't seen a cockroach thrown up on myself, been arrested, woken up somewhere I didn't belong, with someone I didn't know, peed my pants, etc. Anything more is a gift, and I'm so grateful for all of it that sometimes it makes me cry. There are millions of us out there just winning anonymously. It's a beautiful, comforting thought. The most amazing part, seeing the light come back in the eyes of another. My favorite pieces of advice. This, above all, to thine own self be true. Shakespeare. Stay sober, and you got the world by the balls. Betsy. Funny, but powerful in its simple truth. By the way, Betsy didn't have the best reputation everywhere she went, nor do I. She cared loudly and passionately with love of the realest variety. Honesty. Understand, there is not always a gentle way to tell the truth, and it will not always be well received. That doesn't make it wrong. Dare to have the courage of your convictions. If you need help or are interested in learning further, I just put AA's website, aa.org. And if you love someone who needs help, alanon.org. These places will give you contacts and ways to find meetings and further help if needed. If I've missed anything, or if something else helped you, or you feel compelled to speak on this topic, please share in the comments. You never know who needs what only you can give. Next, Henry's eye view, the big picture. So, chapter 42. The only thing I can really say is that I'm super freaking grateful to be sober and to not be that person that I was, and then I can sit here and tell you my story and hope that it can help in some way. Anyway, I also want to say that before I started publishing my story, I talked to numerous people about breaking my own anonymity and wondering am I going against the traditions by sharing my story? And I heard a couple different things, but ultimately, what felt right for me is knowing that it's going to be very hard for anyone to find my last name or my address or who I am really. So just because you can see my face, it doesn't mean that you know who I am. And secondly, like I kind of said in the beginning, I'm not a spokesperson for Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm just one of many people, and I'm just sharing my experience. So if I stop doing all the things that I just read about, if I stop doing any of those things, I could be my cousin tomorrow or whenever. Like anything could happen to me. When I put booze into my system, I have no idea what's going to happen to me. So, so yeah, we're fallible. We're humans. And so by no means do I have all the answers. Let me just say that. But those really are the things that help me the most. And I've said it in here and I said it before that I really have come to look at sobriety as a process of taking out all the things that are just blocking what's good. Because fundamentally, we are good. We just tend to accumulate all these beliefs and ideas and experiences that stay stuck in there and block out the light. And so for me, that is what my sober experience has been. And maybe my perspective on it will change again at some point, but currently that's how I see it and it feels good to me and I love it. I love AA. I love to see families winning and put back together and people thriving. It's amazing and miraculous and all the good things. So that's what I got for chapter 42. Thanks for watching. And really, truly put your experience in the comments. I know, like, I'm one of those people who goes to YouTube videos and reads all the comments. So you never know who can find your comment and like, I don't know, could save a life. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.